Hey guys, today I'm going to show you a fantastic dessert idea for fall entertaining. It's my brownie pie sundae, topped with vanilla ice cream, homemade hot fudge, all resting on a delicious walnut pie crust. And special thanks to Diamond of California for sponsoring and collaborating with me on this video. I'm going to be using their ready-to-use nut pie crust, which I have to admit is my new favorite thing. It is so delicious and so easy to use. You guys are going to love this. The pie crusts come in both walnut or pecan, and both are made with just 10 ingredients or less. I'll put a link in the description to some stores that carry them so you can find them near you. Okay, let me show you how to make this fantastic brownie pie sundae. So we first want to make our brownie batter. So in a medium-sized saucepan, you're going to add a half a cup of butter and 2 different types of chocolate. So I like to use 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate and 4 ounces of dark chocolate. I think this gives you the richest, most chocolatey flavor without being too bitter. You just want to set this on medium-low heat, stirring all the while, making sure that the butter and the chocolate are melting together. Then you can whisk it until it's nice and smooth, turn off the heat, and then just set that aside to cool slightly. Then in a large bowl, we're going to add 2 eggs, a half a cup of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And you can whisk that all together until it's nice and combined. Then we're going to slowly add just a little bit of the chocolate to begin with to stir that up. This will temper the eggs and bring them up to temperature so that we don't actually scramble our eggs with the hot chocolate. Then you can add the rest of the chocolate mixture in and whisk that all together until everything is combined. Then in a small bowl, we're going to add half a cup of flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Now it really does make a difference between baking soda and baking powder, so I would definitely use the soda. The soda is gonna create more of a chewy brownie texture, where I find the baking powder creates more of like a cakey texture. So if you're looking for cakey, then you could certainly use the powder, but I really like a chewy brownie, especially with the ice cream and the hot fudge. It's just really a fantastic texture. So then you can whisk that all up until combined, and then we're going to add this to our chocolate mixture. And then you can stir that all together until you have a nice thick brownie batter on your hands. It'll be really thick, but not to worry, this is what's going to create that dark, rich, and fudgy brownie. Then for this recipe, I'm using the walnut crust, but really either one would be great, the pecan or the walnut, equally good. Then after you remove the plastic from the pie crust, I like to go in and just kind of pull back the aluminum tin. This will make it a lot easier to remove the crust once your brownie pie is baked. Then you can go ahead and pour your brownie batter into your pie crust. Then you can place this in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. The brownie will start to rise up a little bit and begin to crack. That's how you know it's done. Then once you take it out, you want to allow it to cool completely, just sitting there on your countertop. And it'll start to kind of concave a bit and crack, and that is okay because that is the sign of a really fudgy, chewy brownie once you get those little cracks in it. But not to worry, we're gonna gussy up this pie so it's gonna look really beautiful in the end. So don't be upset if you see some cracks because that will not affect the final result. Then once your brownie is completely cool, you wanna then place it in the refrigerator uncovered. This will do a few things. One, it'll help that brownie really set up so you get nice clean slices. And number 2, it will make releasing the brownie from its tin a lot easier. And the other thing you can do in advance is make your homemade whipped cream. So in the bowl of an electric mixer, you're going to add 1 cup of heavy cream, 1 tablespoon of powdered sugar, and a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can whip that all together until stiff peaks form. And then at this point, I actually like to just have it all ready in the pastry bag so that when it comes time to assemble the dessert, it's all ready to go. So using a large pastry bag that's fitted with a star tip, you can go ahead and fill it with the homemade whipped cream, give it a twist, and then just place it either in a pitcher or really just a glass mug, anything that's going to keep it upright, and pop it in your fridge. Then to serve your brownie sundae, you want to first take it out of the tin. So I find the easiest way to do this is to have one hand under the tin and the other hand on top of the brownie, and then just give it a flip and it comes right out. You'll see, it's super easy. Then I like to take the pie and put it on a cutting board, cut it down the center with a sharp chef's knife, then cut it into quarters, and then cut it into 1/8. So then you can just go ahead and cover it with a sheet of foil and sit down to dinner. I think it's a little bit better when the brownie is at room temperature, still sort of chilled, but not so cold that it's hard. Then right before serving, you can make the hot fudge. Now you could do this in advance as well and just microwave it before serving, so really the choice is yours. So in a medium-sized saucepan, you're going to add 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips, 2/3 cup of heavy cream, and you can set that on a medium-low flame and just whisk it until a nice thick chocolate sauce develops. And then to that, I like to add 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And you could stop there, or if you have an espresso machine, a little shot of espresso is also really great. It makes the chocolate feel really rich and decadent, and it thins it out a little bit too. And this is really also according to taste. So if you like your chocolate sauce a little bit thinner, just add some more heavy cream or more espresso. And then once it comes time to serve, I like to use large rectangular plates, which at first might feel like a very big plate for this little piece of brownie, but I think it looks really elegant when you plate it like this. So you want to shake just a little dash of some unsweetened cocoa powder across the plate. Then place the brownie on top. Then take your homemade whipped cream and give it a few dollops just along the pie crust line. And then you can take a big scoop of vanilla ice cream, pop that on top, and then drizzle the whole thing with the homemade chocolate sauce. And you can also get some on the plate too, because it looks really pretty. And then I like to add a fresh cherry to this because I find once you get through all of this chocolate and the dessert is so decadent, it's really nice to have a little refreshing flavor of the cherry at the end. So I actually tell my guests to save that part for the end. But if you couldn't find fresh cherries this time of year, you could also use a maraschino cherry. This is such a fantastic dessert to wow a crowd. You've got that rich, dark brownie and hot fudge sauce mingling with the vanilla ice cream, and of course that crumbly, delicious walnut crust. The nut crust gives this dessert such a fantastic texture. It's just a little bit more unexpected than the usual pressed cookie crusts. I hope you guys give this one a try and let me know what you think. And special thanks to Diamond of California for sponsoring and collaborating with me on this video. And I'll see you guys back here next time. Until then, bye.